Billionaires have more money than they know what to do with, and some of them spend it on the craziest ways possible, like dropping $6.2 million on a banana. Yep, just a banana. Or spending $750,000 on a solid gold toilet, because apparently regular porcelain just isn't fancy enough. But that's just the beginning. Wait till you hear what these ultra rich people have blown money on. Billionaire hedge fund manager Steve Cohen is known for his bold bets, not just on Wall Street, but in the art world too. The founder of Point72 Asset Management, Cohen has a reputation for collecting rare and provocative pieces. But one of his most jaw-dropping acquisitions left even seasoned collectors stunned. In 2004, he reportedly shelled out between $8 million and $12 million for a piece of art that's literally a dead shark. This bizarre masterpiece was dreamed up by a British artist, Damien Hirst, back in 1991, and it came with a name so long it sounds like a philosophy thesis. The physical impossibility of death in the mind of someone living. Basically, it's a fancy way of saying, here's a dead giant shark in a tank, try not to freak out. It's a 14-foot long tiger shark that sits in a big tank filled with formaldehyde, which is a liquid that is supposed to keep it from rotting. But it didn't stop nature from doing its thing. The original shark started falling apart, so they swapped it out for a new one in 2006. Catching a replacement shark that big took months and cost Cohen another few $100,000. Some people love this piece, saying it's deep and makes you think about life. Others think it's dumb and not worth the cash. Either way, it's a crazy buy. Cohen's got billions, so dropping millions on a fish isn't a big deal for him. But $12 million on a shark is peanuts compared to what some billionaires blow their cash on. Like say, a piece of fruit that costs more than your house. Justin's son paid $6.2 million for a banana taped to a wall. It's called Comedian, made by an artist named Maurizio Cattelan in 2019. The art is just a regular banana like you buy at a grocery store, stuck to a wall with duct tape. Some brought it in 2024 at an auction. Now here's the deal, you're not really buying the banana, you get a certificate that it says it's art and you can replace the banana when it rots. At an art show in 2019, a guy named David Tatuna pulled it off the wall and ate it in front of everyone. The gallery didn't care, they just taped a new one. Son said he brought it because it's funny and shows how art can be anything. A banana costs like 25 cents at a store, but this one's worth millions because of the idea behind it. Son's got the cash to burn, so why not? It's nuts, but it's his style. $6.2 million for a banana is wild, but things are about to get way more extravagant, like this next billionaire who turned his bathroom into a gold mine. Kanye West didn't just have an expensive taste, he has 24-karat taste. The man literally spent $750,000 on a gold-plated toilet for his mansion, and because one simply wasn't enough, he went ahead and got two, flushing away a total of $1.5 million just for toilets. But wait, it gets even more ridiculous. He reportedly spent another $1.5 million on a gold toilet paper holder. Yeah, that's more than most people's entire retirement fund, just to hold a roll of Charmin. At the time, Kanye was living it up with Kim Kardashian, ruling Calabasas as the ultimate celebrity power couple, and gold toilets were just the tip of the iceberg. He also splurged on private jets, one-of-a-kind fashion pieces, and even a massive ranch in Wyoming. Basically, if it was expensive and completely unnecessary, Kanye had to have it. Fast forward a few years, and things haven't exactly stayed golden for Kanye. After a string of public meltdowns, business disasters, and controversial takes, his net worth took a massive nosedive. Once sitting on over $2 billion thanks to Yeezy, he's now reportedly worth less than a quarter of that. Turns out, gold toilets don't hold their value, but bad headlines sure do. Maybe next time he'll stick to regular toilets and invest in a PR team instead. Believe it or not, this next billionaire from Hong Kong shared out an insane offer, $120 million to any guy who could marry his daughter and turn her straight. Cecil Chow thought he could literally buy his daughter a husband and turn her straight in the process. Spoiler, it didn't work. Gigi Chow was happily in love with her girlfriend, but her billionaire dad wasn't having it. So in 2012, he put up a $65 million bounty for any man who could win her over. When that didn't work, shocker, he doubled down in 2014, raising the offer to $120 million, because apparently, love is just a really expensive transaction in his world. Gigi even wrote him an open letter basically saying, "Dad, please stop." But nope, he kept going. And since he made his fortune in real estate, $120 million was basically pocket change to him. Now, imagine your billionaire dad offering a literal cash prize for someone to change who you love. That's next level weird. And yes, plenty of guys actually tried, but Gigi wasn't having it. She stayed with her partner, got married, and eventually, Chow finally backed off. Moral of the story? Money can buy a lot of things, but changing someone's heart isn't one of them. $120 million to turn someone straight is crazy, but wait till you hear about a billionaire who dropped way more to rebuild a ship that sank. The Aussie billionaire Clive Palmer is spending between $425 million and $567 million to build a new Titanic. Yeah, Titanic 2, a nearly exact copy of the ship that hit an iceberg and sank in 1912. This guy is a mining big shot with cash to burn, and he's all about big, crazy ideas. The grand staircase, the fancy rooms, all back in action, but this time he's loading it with enough lifeboats for everyone on board. Palmer says it's about honouring the original Titanic and making money off cruises, but come on, it's a total brag too. He wanted it sailing by 2016, then 2018, and now it's pushed to 2027. Clive is no stranger to wild projects. This dude even has a dinosaur park with huge T-Rexes in Queensland, Australia. Still, all of the wild ideas out there, spending $500 million to resurrect a ship that sank over a century ago might just take the crown for the most over-the-top project on this list. But when you're worth $3.4 billion, why not play with history like it's a toy? But his next billionaire is spending his money out of this world, literally. He's looking for aliens. Yuri Milner went full sci-fi mode and dropped $135 million to search for extraterrestrial life. His project is called Breakthrough Listen, a 10-year gig to scan the stars for weird radio signals or laser beams from other planets. He's got massive telescopes in Australia and in the US, listening for anything out there. Milner teamed up with Stephen Hawking back in the day, and they kicked it off in 2015 and is still running in 2025. I guess Yuri just really wants to know if we're alone in the universe. If he finds something, we'll all lose our minds. If not, hopefully they learned something from this $135 million science experiment. Now this next billionaire is obsessed with living forever. Peter Thiel has poured millions into biotech companies chasing anti-aging breakthroughs and cryonics. If you're not familiar, it's basically the sci-fi idea of freezing your body after death in hopes that future science can bring you back to life. And Thiel's not just daydreaming, he's funding real science to make immortality a thing. He's worked with heavy hitters like Google's Larry Page to back labs tinkering with genes and growing new organs. And get this, he's signed up with Alcor, a cryonics company that freezes him when he kicks the bucket, in hopes that future tech can bring him back to life. That'll set him back at least $200,000, but for a guy that's worth $16.4 billion, it's chump change. Thiel's betting big on cheating death, and whether you think he's genius or bonkers, it's wild to see someone try to live forever. Next, we've got William Koch, who brought a super rare photo of Billy the Kid for $2.3 million. This authenticated pic from 1878 shows Billy hanging with his crew, the Regulators. It's one of the two only existing photos of him, making it a huge deal. Most pics from back then are long gone. Koch grabbed it at an auction in 2011, outbidding other billionaires for this slice of history. He's obsessed with Western stuff, guns, art, you name it, so this fits right in. For this oil billionaire, $2.3 million is nothing, but owning a piece of cowboy legend? That's priceless. This next hedge fund titan dropped $500 million on 2 paintings. Known for his massive wealth and taste for high-end investments, Ken Griffin made one of the most jaw-dropping art purchases in history. In 2015, he dropped a staggering $500 million on two iconic paintings, Interchange by Willem de Kooning and Number 17A by Jackson Pollock. He brought them from media mogul David Geffen, and both pieces are considered cornerstones of abstract expressionism. But Griffin didn't just stash them away in a private vault, he loaned them to the Art Institute of Chicago so the public could actually enjoy them. When you're worth $42.2 billion, spending $500 million on a couple legendary canvases is just another Tuesday. Next, we have a billionaire who dropped a fortune on a clock that ticks just once a year. Deep in a mountain in West Texas, Jeff Bezos is building something straight out of a sci-fi novel, a massive 500-foot tall clock designed to keep ticking for 10,000 years. Yeah, you heard that right, a clock inside a mountain built to last longer than most civilizations. Bezos first announced this wild idea back in 2011, calling it a symbol of long-term thinking. Construction kicked off in 2018, and yep, they're still working on it. Now, this isn't your average wall clock from Target. This thing runs on the Earth's own heat, syncs with the sun, and has a giant pendulum. But the craziest part? It only ticks once a year. Just one click every 365 days. And if that wasn't mind-blowing enough, it's designed to chime with a unique bell sound every day for 10,000 years without repeating. That's 3.5 million different chimes. Inside, there are 5 massive chambers, each marking milestones like the first year, the 1000th year, and beyond. Future visitors can add to these rooms, turning the clock into a time capsule for generations to come. It's part engineering marvel, part billionaire fever dream, but hey, if you've got Bezos money, why not spend $42 million to build a time machine that doesn't actually travel through time? Now that's cool, but this next one is more my style. Elon Musk spent $1 million on a car that doesn't just drive, it dives. Yep, he brought the iconic Lotus Esprit from the James Bond movie The Spy Who Loved Me. This isn't just some fancy movie prop, it actually works. In the 1977 film, Roger Moore drives it straight into the ocean, and like magic, it transforms into a submarine with fins and thrusters. Musk, being the tech-loving billionaire he is, thought it was the coolest thing ever and snagged it at an auction in 2013. But here's the wild part. This legendary car was actually lost for years. In 1989, it was discovered inside a storage unit that someone brought for just $100. Talk about the ultimate storage unit find. After getting restored, it eventually landed in Musk's hands. And of course, he's not just letting it sit there, he talked about making it fully electric so he can actually take it for a spin or a swim. Imagine Musk casually rolling up to a beach, pressing a button and disappearing underwater. Forget Teslas, this is the real future of transportation. Next, we have a billionaire who spent $30 million on some old scribbles. Bill Gates spent $30 million on a notebook, but not just any notebook. This one belonged to Leonardo da Vinci. Back in 1994, Gates won the auction for the Codex Leicester, a 72-page collection of da Vinci's sketches, notes, and mind-blowing ideas from the 1500s. This thing is basically a time capsule of genius. Inside, you find da Vinci's thoughts on everything, from water flow to helicopters to early tank designs, all written in his famous backward handwriting. It's like getting a peek straight into the brain of one of history's greatest inventors. Now, why would a guy who revolutionized computers drop millions on a Renaissance-era notebook? Maybe he saw a little bit of himself in Da Vinci, a math and science nerd who thought way ahead of his time. And get this, that $30.8 million price tag, adjusted for inflation, it's over $63 million today. But at least Gates didn't just keep it locked in a vault, he loaned it out to museums, including the Seattle Art Museum, so other curious and much poorer nerds can marvel at Da Vinci's brilliance too. And there you have it, the craziest things billionaires have ever brought. From million-dollar bananas to clocks that outlive civilizations, these ultra-rich folks really know how to spend dollars in the most insane ways. But hey, when you have unlimited money, I guess the question isn't why, it's why not? Which of these billionaire purchases blew your mind the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because I've got even more wild billionaire videos coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.